Hello, TrekBoy89 here. I sort of thought if I'm going to trash someone's work, I probably should get their name right. So the name of the costume designer for Star Trek Discovery is Gersha Phillips. I forgot that in the rest of the video. And I think what would have worked better for the costume, rather than just reversing the third season design and just making the stripe black and the rest of the uniform colour, I think what probably would have worked better is if they'd had the asymmetric design, the colour come across the chest and have the underside of that, the underneath, be black and go to match along with the pants. And then also that would make the little rank insignias, the gold Nazi ones, they've looked a lot better on the black rather than on the colour. I think that would have looked a lot better. I was just sort of doodling and I did a little sketch of what I thought that could have looked like. I probably should do a proper sketch of that later. But whatever, maybe I'll do it for the thumbnail or something. But I just want to mention that and just mention her name and just say I think she has done some really great design work on Discovery, but she's also just the uniforms have just been so hit and miss. And I think the only hit was accidental when they just changed the Discovery costumes to colour. It kind of worked. I think that was just pure luck. But yep, on with the rest of the video. Hello, TrekBoy89, SteveArts89. Let's talk about Starfleet uniforms. That was the first thing I saw. I saw a photo on the bridge and I thought someone had just done photoshopped and put changed the colour of the uniforms from the end of season 3. And then I looked at Sonequa Martin Green's hair. Although I'm not sure that is her hair. I think that's a wig. She's got short hair in the interviews. But I saw her hair was different. I'm like, oh, this is something from 4th season? Oh, okay. And then I looked and I realised, First Contact Day, they actually did something. I wasn't expecting them to really do anything for First Contact Day. And I was focusing on other things. I gave myself a bunch of stuff to keep me busy over Easter because I've been having trouble since my parents died and I don't sort of do Easter with my family. And with COVID, I still can't get my vaccination, so I haven't left the house in over a year. So I gave myself something to deal with so I would not get caught up on Easter and get depressed. And because First Contact Day was basically the Monday after Easter, I kind of was still busy and I kind of missed it. And then I saw some pictures today and realised, they did a bunch of stuff, and I went and looked online at all these videos and panels and stuff, and I'm like, oh god, I got to watch all this now. I've only watched the little 2 or 3 minute segments, I haven't watched any of the full panels yet. But I did see the uniforms and I'm like, how could they get it wrong again? Okay, it's better than the Nazi uniforms from the end of last season, although all they did was really invert the colours. Those were grey Nazi uniforms with military ranks and things on the collar and everything and on the shoulders, which is just militaristic and not Star Trek. Yes, I know they did that on the red uniforms from Wrath of Khan, but they weren't Star Trek either. Wrath of Khan is not the best example of Star Trek. Sacrilege! Whatever. I'm a Star Trek purist. I don't pander to the populist crap. It's a great movie on its own, but it's not the best example of Star Trek. Motion Picture and Star Trek 4 are better examples. But yeah, basically they just reversed it. They basically made the grey line, the coloured line, a dark grey charcoal sort of colour. I don't think it's black, I think it's charcoal. And then the grey is now whatever colour, red, green, blue. And I think the pants are black or charcoal as well. It's hard to tell in the lighting. And they don't fit very comfortably. They look like these because the original design, the grey on grey, it kind of they just sort of blended together and they just looked very smooth and sleek. But this one, by separating the colours and making the black pants and the coloured top, it just cuts it in half and makes it look really bell-shaped and clunky and awkward, and it just looks uncomfortable. It doesn't look as sleek as the original Discovery design, which was just recoloured for the rest of the Federation when we see Pike, and then in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I'm guessing they're going to just keep to that uniform. It just doesn't look like it fits. So some people were saying that Sonequa Martin Green had a baby and that she's not in the same shape and that's why maybe it didn't fit. And I'm like, did she have a baby? I didn't know that. Someone said the same thing about Tilly, that she gained weight because we were criticising her for gaining weight, which I didn't. I defended her. That's wrong. Fat shaming is evil. But apparently she got married and had a kid, and I'm like, did she? I didn't hear that. So I don't know if any of this is true or not, but I don't know if it's just a bad design, but it seems to fit everyone awkwardly, so I don't think it has anything to do with Snooker Martin Green gaining weight in between seasons or something. I think it just... I don't know where this Gersha or Gershwin, I can't remember. I think of Gershwin. This lady, she is the costume designer. She was interviewed, and I should have written her name down because I can't remember it. But in my head, I thought, I'll remember that. I don't need to write it down. She's like, oh, we had so much trouble designing, just topping ourselves and doing something better than we already did because we were so happy with our designs for the 32nd century on that set. She didn't realise, I don't know how, she actually said this, she admitted this, that they didn't realise that the uniforms matched the walls on the sets for Discovery. So obviously you have these grey costumes on this grey set, and that doesn't work. How did she not, when she's designing this, did they just last minute say, how about we put the crew in the new uniforms? And they just went, oh, cool, and didn't actually realise that it wasn't designed for the ship or the sets. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, I'm glad she admitted it and didn't try and pretend that, you know, that was like some sort of deliberate thing or something. But obviously I saw that and I'm like, that cannot work. They can't use those uniforms next season. How can they do that? It's not going to work. That's, at least they heard us fans complain, I guess, or saw it for themselves, and they changed it. Now, I do prefer the coloured uniforms, the black, to the grey Nazi uniforms, or the blue science uniforms, which is how I think of them. I think of Discovery as a science ship, and they all had science uniforms, and that's why the rest of the Federation has the coloured uniforms, because it was just a science ship, and everyone on there was like, I don't know, it makes sense they did it like that. But yeah, I still prefer the colour, but the design, just the tunic sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's like, it does resemble more the maroon outfits from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, where they do feel very big and militaristic, sort of like a jacket, which is not very comfortable. The great thing about the original Star Trek was they looked comfortable. They were wearing clothes that you could imagine feeling comfortable in all day, not a stiff uniform that it'd be a chore to put that on and wear it all day on set, and it would be a chore to put that on and work all day in the Federation wearing uniforms like that. The uniforms should be comfortable. That's why the original ones, and the best ones were probably JJ's, because they took the original design and improved it. They made it more like a comfortable sort of sports soccer jersey as opposed to just like a shirt. So yeah, I just don't know how they screwed that up so much. They should have made a new design, or they should have found some way to make them more fitted. If they were going to change the colour and have to basically remake a whole bunch of costumes, they could have altered the design a little bit just to make it actually work better with the different colours. And the fact this woman seems to have no foresight is what baffles me. She couldn't see those uniforms wouldn't work on the set, and she couldn't see that just change. It looks like she just changed the colour, that would work, and that they didn't have to alter the elements of the design to go along with the change of colour. So I can't get this lady. I've seen a couple of interviews with her, and some of her designs are really good, like the aliens and the human stuff is all good, but the Starfleet, she just cannot design a uniform. They need to bring someone in to do the uniforms, because she cannot do justice to them. The only reason why the Enterprise uniforms on Pike's ship basically worked was this luck that they just changed the colours on the Discovery uniform and it just worked. They were just lucky. This one, they did the same thing, but it didn't work. The design is different and it just doesn't work as well with the two-colour design. But yes, it does resemble Star Trek. When you see the actors in the colour, you sort of think, oh my God, it's Star Trek. They're on the bridge of the Enterprise or on a Starfleet ship. It does work on that level. But yeah, I mean, God, I'm complaining my A off, but it's better than what we saw at the end of Season 3, but it's not as good as the Season 2 adapted uniforms with the colour. And the design and fit is not as good as the original Discovery ones, but I like the colour. So it's like, for a second I thought, oh my God, they've changed something for the better, they're giving me something I want, and then you look at it and go, no, that still doesn't work. They can't even do that. They can't even get that right. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be such a long negative rant about the costumes. I might redo this, but I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Yeah. Thanks, bye.